Hey guys, so I'm gonna talk to you guys about my crazy labor and delivery story. Um, as you guys saw in my 30-week update, I told you guys that I was in and out of the hospital sick. I was in a lot of pains, and they told me it was my gallbladder, and basically needs to say hello. Hi. Alright, I'm trying to make a video. Okay, so. And they had tested me for preeclampsia. They said I didn't have it, and they basically just said it was my gallbladder. So I'm my 31-week update, or my 31-week appointment, and my midwife measured me and said that she thought I was too small, so she wanted me to get a growth sonogram to look at the baby. So about a week later, I did that at 32 weeks. And my doctor just told me that she was really small, about 2 pounds, and that I had really low amniotic fluid, and he wanted me to go see a specialist in Peoria, which is our really big, major hospital for, anything kind of specialists, children's hospital, thing like that. So I went there on the 24th of January, and I sat down, and I got my blood pressure taken, and it was 170 whatever over 100, like it had been, because I kept checking it and telling me that it was my gallbladder. And they asked me why I got sent there, and I said, he told me that she's small and I have low amniotic fluid, and she's like, and that she has a hole in her heart, and that she's missing a kidney. My doctor never told me any of that, so that was quite the shock to me, and I was extremely upset about that. So we go into the ultrasound room, and we got a biophysical profile done, which is an extremely detailed ultrasound. There was no hole in her heart. They did find her left kidney, so I don't know what that was all about. But she was only 2 pounds and 5 ounces, what they could measure on the thing. And my placenta was not, the cord and my placenta were not pumping back blood to her or nutrients, so she was not growing, she was not getting anything from me, and so they basically told me I was getting admitted and I was going to be having a baby soon. Oh, and I also went because she was breech, and she was still a breech, so I got admitted. I got shot for steroids for her lungs, and I couldn't eat anything or drink anything. I had to be on magnesium for my blood pressure. And Wednesday came, and I got my second shot of steroids for her lungs, because it's a 48-hour thing. And my doctor came in and said, after this 48 hours, we're going to go ahead and do a C-section and get her out so that she's safe, because being in me basically wasn't safe for her anymore. So at 33 weeks and 3 days on January 26th at 3:45 p.m., I had a C-section, and Scarlett was born. If you know anything about me, I have extreme anxiety when it comes to any kind of medical procedures, doctors, especially the dentist and the gynecologist, and I can't stand being put to cut or I like to let my body do its own thing. I rarely ever take medicine, and when I do, I usually take children's medicine. I just like to let my body do its own thing. Also, I'm extremely against C-sections. I don't like them. I didn't want any part of it. When I was pregnant with Paisley, I did my natural birth and the water birth and all of that. I'm not a fan of C-sections at all. I had no education on C-sections because I never wanted one, and I wanted nothing to do with it. Same thing with epidurals. I don't want something in my back. I don't like it. And when I asked her what they were going to do, is it general anesthesia? Is it local? What is it? And she was like, well, we're going to give you a spinal, which is different from an epidural, and you'll be numb, from wherever down. And I said, okay, but I have anxiety, so you need to give me an IV and knock me out. I can't. do that. Like, I just can't. And so she was like, well, this is what we're gonna do. The anesthesiologist came in and was a total asshole. He thought it was a joke that I have anxiety. Like, he's like, oh, everyone has anxiety when it has surgery. Like, nobody, like, you don't get it. Like, this is some serious shit. So, my dad had talked with the doctor, which she was amazing. I would have never made it through any of this without her. She's the best doctor I've ever had in my whole life. And so we got back to the C-section room. You know, Ryan had to wait till I was, like, got this spinal because it's a sterile procedure, but got back there. She said that she wanted to get some benzos for me, which if you don't know what that is, it's like Xanax, Ativan, you know, to calm me down so they could do all this stuff. So I got the spinal. Was not a fan of that. I didn't like feeling like that. I don't like not feeling in control of my body, like, at all. I hate it. And, you know, I got laid back and the catheter got put in, and they gave me, I don't know what they gave me. I think they gave me Xanax, but I'm not sure. It might have been Ativan. And they started doing the procedure. They got Scarlett out. They brought her to me, and I remember that. I remember almost everything, so I'm not sure what they really gave me, but you know, they gave me something. And so I remember seeing her, and, you know, Ryan was with me, but once they took Scarlett to go to the NICU, he had to go with her. So he left with Scarlett to go to the NICU, and I had a nurse with me, and she put I had my phone with me because music is something I like to do when I'm getting things done and I'm under, like, anesthesia. I listen to music, keeps me chill. So she put my headphones in, I had music on, and I was just laying there waiting for them to get done, and then I went to recovery. And in recovery, I was on my phone. I got a text from Ryan with pictures. I uploaded to Facebook. I texted a few of my friends pictures. And then I went to my room, and I ate, I believe. And then, you know, I slept that night. I was on something called Duramorph. That was what was in my spinal, I'm pretty sure. And that was like a 24-hour pain med. So Scarlett was born at 33 weeks and 3 days. She was 2 pounds and 2 ounces and 15 inches long. She was on oxygen. She's not on oxygen anymore. She has a feeding tube, and she had an IV through her umbilical cord for the first 7 days, and then they moved her to an IV. Now she has an IV in her foot, but it was kind of scary for the first couple of days. I couldn't see her for 24 hours because I was on magnesium for my blood pressure. I was in the hospital until Monday, so I was there for 6 full days. The 2 days prior to when I had her, and then 4 days of postpartum C-section. Blood pressure problems, because we couldn't get my blood pressure down, and I was on blood pressure medication, and they couldn't get that right. And I couldn't go home until they fixed it, so I came home on blood pressure medicine. I'm no longer on the blood pressure medicine. I went back, Friday, to get checked, my C-section stuff checked, and my blood pressure checked, and I was back down to like 97/68. So I'm not taking the blood pressure medicine anymore. They took me off of it. The only pain meds I took the entire time was Motrin and Tylenol. I had a really hard time trying to pee after they took the catheter out. That was terrible. I might make a whole video about my experience with the C-section, like, in general. But basically, I was just really scared for the surgery and the outcome, and the fact that I wasn't really going to get to bond with my daughter or see my daughter or get to, you know, do any of the stuff that I got to do with Paisley. You know, I didn't get to hold her for like 2 or 3 days. And it sucks to go through that and to not know how your child's going to be, how they're going to be healthy, if they're going to be okay. and I couldn't even see her for 24 hours, and then I couldn't even hold her for about 3 days, I think it was. So, not every pregnancy is the same. I totally had 2 different experiences. And if you guys want a video of how I feel about C-sections versus natural birth, like, I'm totally down for that. But as of right now, Scarlett's doing okay. She is 11 days old. She's 2 pounds, almost 5 ounces. And she's doing pretty good. So, yeah, so that was my C-section premature birthing experience. And if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.